One day I will figure out how to hold you and where to keep you in the frame. Hi, and welcome back to this channel. The fact that you are seeing this video is a miracle on itself because I've tried to record this like 5 times over the last three and a half months. Okay, I exaggerate, it was not 5 times, but still, I am doing the booktube newbie tag. Hopefully, hopefully we will survive this time. Hopefully. I know I've already posted the last video. I know I posted it Monday evening my time. I am recording this one on Friday evening, I think. Is today Friday? Yes, today is Friday. So the fact that we are already planning ahead, we are already recording ahead of schedule, to take into account editing hours, all the while making sure that we are also reading, it's a good news. Because last time I did this thing to record the day off, edit the day off, and post the day off, which was horrendous. So the fact that I have a bit of a foresight this time around, progress. I am glad that we are here. I'm not going to dilly dally too much. I'm just going to start answering questions. Just now realized that the camera is off center. Even though I did this thing for like 8 months, 5 years ago, I am very much new at this. Why did I start this channel? Here is a lore of Well Read Witch that nobody asked for. Well Read Witch started as an Instagram account where I wanted to keep. Is it still wonky? I can't tell anymore. Is this okay? I don't know. This is my reading buddy. Smriti sent him to me on my birthday, and I'm very glad that he exists. Coming back to the lore of Well Read Witch. Well Read Witch started as an Instagram account where I wanted to keep the quotes of the books I read accessible. Then I stopped reading. Somewhere there was a podcast version of it as well where I would recap bookish weekly news. But when I stopped reading, I also stopped keeping up with the bookish world. So that stopped, and everything was stopped for a while. Now I am sort of repurposing this account as like, a bookstagram thing, and that is it. This is not going to be a quotes archive. This is not going to be actively a podcast because I know I can yap, but I also have to trim my yapping thanks to the art of editing. The booktube version of Well Read Witch happened because I wanted to get back into reading. And I had no idea how to do that, how to keep myself accountable, how to, just form a habit or like just be conscious of the future. Because I think I was living way too much in the present because I would not think of the future and I would not think of the past. So the fact that this channel exists is because I want to think of the future. I want to think that, oh, okay, if I'm going to record a video, I think I'm just trapping my Virgo brain into reading by, working on this booktube channel. This is it. This is a very long con plan where I get to trick my Virgo brain into doing things so we can actively read. So we are not spending time scrolling on Twitter. So we are not spending time on AO3. So we are not spending time wondering what our crush did today. That is what are some fun and unique things you can bring to YouTube. I don't know. Oh, I am very silly. I guess I will bring my silliness to BookTube. Yeah. Chaotic editing, silliness, random hyperfixations, and that's it. What are you most excited about for your channel? The fact that I think I can actually con myself into making reading a priority again. That honestly, that's truly it. And I also know that if I do not have an active project going on, I will not prioritize reading and I will get sucked into other things. That sort of is something that my brain does not actively realize that it is like getting harmed in the process of it, because I've read for so long and like read consistently for so long that if I do not get like, that story inside my brain, it just like it feels like I'm floating through the days and I'm like not actively participating in my own life. The days I've not read, the months I've not read, it's felt like I am floating through my life and nothing makes sense. So The most exciting thing would be being able to read stories once again. Why do you love reading? Why do I love reading? Well, it started because in sixth grade, I lost my library card, and one of my classmates very kindly used to lend the books that she got out from the library. Like, we would only be allowed to lend a single book from our library for a week. So, what she would do is finish the book in half a week and lend it to me for half a week so I could read it. And the fact that, like, I had that deadline thing hanging over my head, and the fact that my friend was so kindly, so generously lending something that was supposed to be her for the week was enough. That was the moment where something glitched, and suddenly I decided that I wanted English literature to become, my life. And honestly, it was not just like English literature. I would take in stories of any kind. The fact of the matter is that I'm only fluent in English enough that I can read highbrow literature, which I think is a bit sad. Very long-winded way of saying that I've not known life without reading. And the months I've not read, the weeks I've not read, I do not feel like myself. I think it is a love affair with stories more than a love affair with language or the act of reading. But the truth of it is that, you get to experience so many worlds with reading, which I do not think would be possible otherwise. Like, me as an Indian can never step into what's it like to be, say, a person who lives in Japan, or a person who lives in Australia, or a person who, does something very specific for their living. Like, I don't know. And reading lets me go through that portal, which I think is very good, very fun. What book series got you into reading? Well, would it be cliche to say Harry Potter? Because I remember staying up for that book. Like, I stayed up till like 3 a.m. for Goblet of Fire. Um, yeah, that's all there is to it. I was not a Percy Jackson kid. I was a Harry Potter kid. But I also, I think, got past that phase once it was over. Once I had access to other books, once, I was not dependent on the limited selection of my school library, it was very easy to get over Harry Potter as well. Because I do think the fact that I was a Harry Potter kid mostly came down to the fact that, like, our school library had all the seven books and we could easily just lend it, or like issue it, or like reissue it over and over and over again. And that is all it came down to, the access of books. In sixth grade, you had to plead with your parents to, allow you to get a book. Yeah, that was the struggle. Now I can get whatever I want, which is a luxury, and I do not take this luxury very lightly. Why are my answers so long? I don't know. What questions would you ask your favorite booktube? My favorite booktuber currently is Carrie from Carrie Can Read. She is partly the reason why I even wanted to document my own journey once again, because I had fallen out of love from booktube, and she's the one who sort of made me fall back into love with it. Does it ever get hard? Like, doing this full time, does it ever get hard? I guess that would be something that I would want to know. What challenges will be the hardest with booktube? Balancing it with my day job. Balancing it with my day job would be, I think, frankly, the hardest, because it's a 9 hour work shift. It's a 6 day work week, and yeah, I do not, on most days I do not have the energy left, even if I've like wrapped up my work earlier in the office. By the time you come home, you are just so drained, you barely have energy to, like, engage in a proper conversation. So I think having a consistency will be harder. Reading books, like actively prioritizing reading over watching, say, a mind numbing video where I do not have to think too much, would be a bit of a challenge, but I do want to take that on. Nobody's forcing my hand here, but yeah, I genuinely think I would, like, my brain would appreciate having a set routine where I know that I want to read certain books, where I know that I have to get to certain books. Because without that deadline, I don't think my brain works. I mean, it does work. Just because I do not have the energy at the end of a workday, it just gets harder to prioritize reading, to, open myself up to the possibility of entering a new world. becomes a bit intimidating. And that is the first hurdle that everybody needs to get over, that people refuse to get over. So, yeah. When did you start reading? I think it was somewhere in fourth grade or third grade. I don't remember, honestly. Once I hit sixth grade and like that thing with my friend happened, that pretty much solidified the love that I had for reading and stories. But I've always had an active imagination. I've always thought of, like, even when in India, streaming has made its way into every household right now. But like back in my childhood, daily soap operas used to be a huge thing. And each day, I don't even remember what I would watch, but I would plan ahead that, okay, this thing happened and this thing happened. And okay, what will be the next thing that's going to happen? And so, like, I always had like an overactive imagination. So it was not that hard to get into reading, but I do not remember what exactly was the first book that triggered that, oh, this thing could be fun. And I know it was prior to the sixth grade thing, because that much is also true, because I remember pleading with my mom whether I could buy a book from those scholastic school fairs in like fourth or third grade. I think I got to buy one in like fifth grade or something. Where do you read this thing? This thing was delivered to my home yesterday. I have been wanting one for so long, and I'm glad it's here. This will be my new reading nook, which is also a trick that I'm going to use against my own brain, because I used to read on my bed, like in my quilts and under my blankets and stuff. But that is also where I sleep. So most of the time, I would pick up my book and just fall asleep in the middle of it. Okay, sometimes I get that, you have to, like, it's late at night and you want to read in bed, and that's something. But I wanted a separate place where I could read. Honestly, I just wanted this chair. I just wanted a designated reading nook, and I'm glad it's here. Me being excited over this chair is also the reason why this video is being recorded, by the way. What kind of books do you read? I read everything. If it has a good enough story to tell. Like memoirs, I love because somebody is telling their life story. Fiction worlds, I also love. Historical stuff, I'm calling Shakespeare historical. Historical stuff, I also love. I also love thrillers. I'll read anything. That is it. The booktube newbie tag thing link that I opened up, it had 10 questions, and I answered 10 questions. And I will see you all soon. Hopefully, with another video before I wrap up January. I plan to post at least 3 videos this month. Um, and the wrap up probably next month. But I do not take any guarantees for the next video, which one it'll be, when it'll be. I do not even know when this one is going out. I am again doing the I am again doing the thumbnail thing with you in this video. Should Oscar be in the thumbnail? Is the question. Yes, Oscar should be in the thumbnail.